Israel-Hamas conflict. 60 bodies found in Gaza Rubble. Ceasefire progress or escalation ahead. Around 60 bodies were discovered in the rubble of a Gaza City neighborhood on Thursday, 11 July, according to officials in the Hamas-run territory. This came after Israel's military announced the conclusion of its operation there. The escalation in fighting, bombings and displacements in the eastern district of Shujaa coincided with negotiations in Qatar aimed at securing a ceasefire and the release of hostages. US President Joe Biden reported progress toward a ceasefire agreement, urging an end to the Israel-Hamas conflict. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insisted on Israel retaining control of key Gaza border territory, conflicting with Hamas's demand for a complete Israeli withdrawal from Gaza post-ceasefire. Gaza's Civil Defense Agency reported the recovery of approximately 60 bodies under Shujaa's debris, following some of Gaza City's most intense combat in months. Hamas stated that Israel's operation had destroyed over 300 residential units and 100 businesses. Resident Mohammed Nairi described returning to a neighborhood of immense destruction. Israel declared the completion of its mission in Shujaa after 2 weeks, but continued bombings and clashes persisted in Gaza City, with tanks and troops observed moving to other areas. Airstrikes hit the Sabra neighborhood, and militants clashed heavily with Israeli forces in Tel al-Hawa. Hamas reported 45 airstrikes in Gaza City and Rafah, where Netanyahu indicated the war's intense phase was ending. Negotiations in Doha saw Israel's team, led by Mossad chief David Barnea, return to Israel, while the Pentagon decided to permanently halt its C-aid delivery effort to Gaza due to repeated peer damage. WHO's Tedros Adhanom reported on social media that Gaza faced severe medical supplies shortages, with many trucks awaiting clearance at border crossings. The conflict sparked by Hamas's October 7 attack on southern Israel has resulted in a death toll of 1,195 in Gaza and significant civilian displacement, exacerbating humanitarian needs. Israel's military dropped leaflets warning of continued danger in Gaza City and urged evacuation from areas housing up to 350,000 people. The UN criticized these actions, fearing increased suffering for displaced Palestinian families. Hamas reaffirmed its stance in negotiations, accusing Israel of seeking to undermine their demands amid ongoing military operations in Rafah. The Israeli military acknowledged operational failures in protecting Kibbutz Be'eri during Hamas's attacks, citing coordination issues.